welcome to another episode of Inside Rangers Football. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, as always, joined by Rangers head coach Larry Hill. Smithson Valley out to a 6-0 start, 3-0 in 27 6A play following a 51-0 win right here at Ranger Stadium over Clemens. And Coach, the win came after the bye week. You had a chance to rest up and reset for the second half of the season. Quite a way for your team to play out of the gate following the bye.
No doubt. I don't think any of us saw that coming. Clemens is such a high caliber opponent, one we've struggled with so mightily through the years. And, we did have a good bye week. As you said, our kids really locked in and paid attention. And then the week following the bye week, the week of the game, they had a good week. Sometimes they get bored in there through the years, and it's been my experience in a bye week. But we didn't do that, so we came into the stadium. I felt like we would play well. If you'd have told me 51-0, I don't think I would have bought that. But, every now and then you get a game that things seem to click for you in all phases. And told someone the other day, we line up and play Clemens again. I don't think it's going to be like that. But it was last Friday night, and we'll doggone sure take it.
You have the opening possession of the game. It's a long drive. I think it was 15 plays, about 7 minutes or so off the clock. You have to settle for a field goal. You get the sense that Clemens is going to make life difficult for you offensively because they didn't give you anything big. But then you force a 3-and-out on defense, and then the ensuing punt taken back by Braden Mafidis, 66 yards for a touchdown. This kid is turning into something else.
Yeah, and that seemed to be the dam buster. It seems like the avalanche just began after that. And Braden is a special talent. That's his third kick return for a touchdown on the season, both punt and kickoffs. And he's had some other long ones. And Kyler Clark has had his share. I think he had a 45 or so yard punt return the other night as well. So those two guys back there together on kickoffs and punt returns has made it good for us, tough on opponents, and Braden had a great night. He had some good blocking. He'd be the first to tell you that. Both he and Kyler on all their returns had some good blocking, but they've both got that little make the first guy miss, and then a little burst. Braden can really get from 0 to 50 in a hurry and make people miss, and broke a tackle or two. So we like having those guys, and it was a catalyst, I thought, for the rest of the night.
You look at the score 51-0, and your first instinct is to look at the stats. How does that tell the story of the game? And you look offensively, no player had one large game. There wasn't a 200-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. Mata didn't go off in the passing game. But the reason why is because the field position. You never had to drive the length of the field outside your opening possession. You kept having the football at the Clemens 30 or even closer in. And what that tells me, again, looking at the stats and having been there, the defense and special teams played such a huge role in creating field position all night.
There's no doubt. Normally you score 51 points, you got a 500-600-yard night. I think we had 330, 340, a good solid night, but wouldn't be indicative of 51 points. But we scored 7 of them on a return, and I think 3 of our possessions we started one drive on the 8, another one on the 8, and another one on the 12. So that's 21 points, 3 touchdowns that your offense scores, and doesn't even drive 40 yards total to get them. So and then we had several other drives that began on the other side of the 50. So it was a great team win. I thought our offense clicked well. Our defense obviously played extremely well. They didn't have a first down in the first half. They were 3-and-out every possession. And then most of those were followed up by big punt returns. So, just one of those rare nights. In our district, caliber of opponents we play, that can't happen all the time, but every now and then it does. And last Friday night it did.
Yeah, you mentioned the defense not allowing a first down until the second half. Clemens held to under 100 yards of offense in the game. By our count, 4 yards of offense in the first half. Just dominant stuff from the defense in the win over the Buffaloes. Again, you scored 51 points. Special teams played very well. It feels like all 3 phases are clicking for you as you hit the second half of the season.
Well, I hope so. They did last Friday night. We've got some big trains coming down the track at us, and again, it can't always be like that. We recognize that. There are nights when the kicking game's got to carry the other 2 units, or hey, the offense is struggling. We can't let these guys make a yard or more. We're having a hard time stopping them, so we're going to have to get into a track meet and score with them. So, any and all those scenarios will occur at some point in time during the season. So, if that's the case, then they all have got to pick up their game and sharpen up. And, last Friday night they were all working well.
Again, Smithson Valley, a 51-0 win over Clemens this past Friday at Ranger Stadium. Plenty of big plays at all three faces, as we talked about. And with that, Coach Hill takes us through this week's Plays of the Week.
Let's go take a look.
Our first play of the week comes on our first defensive series. It's going to, we went down and scored a field goal. We're up 3-0, and we've got Clemens backed up on their end. And we're going to feature some what we call a coverage sack. There's two young men with circles around them, a couple of seniors. It's Camden Egley on the left, safety, and on the right there's Garrison Eggleston at cornerback position. And they're going to what we call bracket cover their best receiver. He's onto their sideline, and you can see Garrison does not retreat, instead stays in the short zone and collides him, and then gets a little help from Camden on top. And when the quarterback turns to throw, Garrison's right there banging on him, so he can't make that throw. So now he turns his attention to the other side, and his second option is thwarted or denied by senior outside linebacker Wyatt Hanson. So now he can't throw there, so now I got to duck up and run. Diego Hamilton, our senior defensive tackle, forces him up in there, and when they do, we've got Brock Whitaker and Jackson Maynard, one of our sophomores, combined for a sack. So a great example of how coverage can create a sack. You see it again from the end zone as you look at, like from our safety's point of view. Okay, there's Garrison on the left and Camden on the right there. They're gonna do that over and under thing on their best receiver. And as the quarterback looks that way, he can see that he is bracketed. I can't make that throw. I'm gonna turn over here, and there's Wyatt. Wyatt's denying the second option. So now what am I going to do? Well, there's Diego. I can't step up in that hole. So now I'll step up in this, and when I do, then Brock and Jackson combine for the sack. Just, a play or two later, we've got them stopped. So now we've thwarted that drive, and now they've got a punt, which brings us to big play number 2. Of course, the punt return by Braden Lapidus, his third return for the year for a touchdown. As you're going to see, a great individual effort by Braden, but some great help along the way. They kick it down there pretty deep, and the first thing we do is we get Kyler Clark, the littlest guy on our team, gets just a little bit of a block and runs the guy past the hole, which allows Braden to split the defenders. And at this point, the wall is there. It's David De Hoyos on the left and Tanner Donovan on the right. You can see there's Tanner's block, there's David's block, and that gets Braden to the edge. Okay, and he's up the sideline, going to be a big return. Malachi Lane, our senior linebacker running back, gets the last block, and there's one guy left. It's the kicker, the punter. And Braden gives him a little move, and he's able to get through that tackle and dive into the end zone for a touchdown. And, just a tremendous play by Braden, but also those other guys. And set up by our defense making them punt. So you see it here from the point of view of the returners. That's Kyler Clark on the left. Braden's just a little bit off the screen to the right. Use two returners oftentimes back there, and as the play unfolds, you can kind of see what you just saw from the side. Punt comes down the field slightly to our right, so there comes Braden popping into the screen there, and then there's Kyler. He doesn't really get a big block. I think the Clemens kid's probably okay. I don't think he's hurt from that block, but runs him by Braden, and he's able to split him right there. And here, that's a good block there by Brock Whitaker. That's Chase Barker. Number 35 right there on gets him to the side. There's Tanner's block. There's David's block. You see he's got a lot of room to get down the sideline, and then there's Malachi's block right there at the end, right there on about the 40-yard line. And then he makes that guy miss. There's the punter that he makes miss and gets it into the end zone for a big play. And gives us momentum, gives us 10-0 lead for one thing, but gives us a lot of momentum. Dylan Domel, our tight end, who also splits out, as you can see, he's got the circle around him. He's the inside receiver here, and he's going to provide an offensive big play for us. We start with a run and play fake to the left or the bottom of the screen, and you can see all of our players moving this way, which draws the defense in. So that puts Dylan open up there on the hash in a void in the defense. Good throw from Derek, good catch. And now they've got him bracketed, so he's got a choice. Do I split him? But he makes a move instead and is able to outrun him. And gets another block from Kyler Clark. Who would have thought Kyler would be our blocker for 2 long touchdowns, but gets just enough of him to let Dylan turn the corner and shows surprising speed, beats their safety and kind of high legs out of that tackle, gets it into the corner of the end zone for a big play touchdown. There's Dylan from the end zone. You can see Dylan before he leaves the screen, moving out to the wide side of the field. There's the fake that draws everybody to the right as you look at it, and the ball is quickly thrown back to the left. And here comes that bracket again, but he's able to step around them, get that block right here from Kyler, just enough. And he's one man to beat. And right there, he's able to kind of high leg through that thing and get it in the end zone. So just a big play by our offense, just a one-play drive. Man, that's outstanding. Our last big play is a special teams play. We want to focus on one of our senior linebackers, Amiri Mckenzie. You can see him right there on the hash. And if you'll just trace him all the way down the field, he's a fast kid, yes, but he's a strong kid. And, right here they've got a blocker assigned for him, and he just is able to power past the block. Now the ball started right to him. He forces the play to go, and they got another blocker for him. Powers past that, and then he kind of WWE body slams the guy to the ground on the 12-yard line. Just a big play by Amiri, who's really stepping up his game. Here he is here on the hash mark. Kind of let that run through as you see it from the point of view of the kick coverage team that's running down the field. You see him attacking down the hash, showing great speed. Here comes that blocker from the other side of the field, and Amiri just beats him with speed and power and veers back to the left. And then he defeats another block there, and then he gets him and tosses him down. So nice individual play there.
And those are our plays of the week.
And Coach, one play I wanted to highlight a little bit more was the catch and run touchdown by Dylan Domel. Ended up scoring twice for you actually in the win over the Buffaloes on Friday. And he's turning into quite the playmaker. Of course, had the long touchdown catch in the win over the Braunfels. But again, this one was a lot of Domel. He catches the pass 5-6 yards from the line of scrimmage, and then takes off after that with good blocking down the field.
Yeah, the way they played their coverage, it was kind of a dink and dunk night. We were throwing the ball short and letting guys run after the catch, and we did that. Several of our guys did a good job with that. Dylan, it was a 3rd and 5. We were hoping to catch it, push it forward, make sure we got the first down, and made a move on the safety and bounced outside the corner, and then got a little nudge block, as you saw from Kyler Clark. But showed surprising speed. He's certainly not slow. We don't mean that at all. But, to be able to run away from a couple of defensive backs who we know can run, open some eyes. And you're right, he's turned into a big play player.
Again, the Rangers, the win over the Buffaloes. They are 6-0, 3-0 in 27-6A play, tied for first place with the Steel Knights. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll preview the opponent coming up this week, the South San Bobcats. Back with more Inside Rangers football in just a moment.
Jeremy! Guys!
That's who I'm on the phone with right now. Jeremy Fuller, my family State Farm insurance agent.
Jeremy! Did you call your parents yet? Jeremy!
Let's go Rangers!
What does the new Experience IQ do on the GVTC Wi-Fi app?
Check it out. I'll be the parent and you be the teenagers.
What?
Malachi, get off your phone and study your playbook.
Aw, man.
Nick, are you learning about breeds of kittens?
Gosh, so what? I can't have any privacy?
Not with Experience IQ.
Miss Moore, what are you doing here?
Time to do your homework, Starfighter.
But
Nope, homework now.
I don't like Experience IQ.
This week in Rangers trivia, Smithson Valley won 51-0 last week against Clemens, the Rangers' largest margin of victory this season. What's the largest margin of victory in a shutout in program history? Is the answer A, 54 points, B, 55 points, or C, 56 points? The answer is C, 56. In 2017, Smithson Valley beat Austin Anderson 56-0. That was also the last time that the Rangers started the season 6-0. This week,
Smithson Valley plays for its first 7-0 start since 2013.
So that's right, 4 years ago, the Rangers in a win over the Trojans in non-district play, 56-0 win on the way to a 10-win campaign that year. This week, Smithson Valley playing for win number 7, looking to go 7-0 as they take on the South San Bobcats. And Coach, there's no getting around it. It's been a tough year for South San, really rough couple of years for the Bobcats, who entered into this district and didn't win a game last year, only played 5 games because of COVID, and this year out to an 0-6 start. What do you make of the opponent you face on Friday?
Well, first of all, you know, we have a lot of respect for Coach Barone and his staff and kids, and this is not the easiest league to win in, as we all know. And, you know, so just looking at them on tape, you know, they're doing some really good things, just not doing enough things yet to get a win. And, you know, and so if you look at our record and look at their record, I think people try to put 2 and 2 together and okay, this is a game we should win. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. We certainly have the intent to win. We're going to try to play up to what we like to think is our standard. I'm sure South San will do the same. And, you know, it's a business trip where our goal is to go over there and get 7-0. So we're not paying too much attention to our record or theirs.
Yeah, Phil Barone, a proud South San alum. This is his 2nd year on the job, and his son Cameron Barone is the quarterback for this team. As you look at the offense, what is it that South San likes to do?
Well, they do run it through their quarterback, Cameron Barone, as you said, and you know, he's a runner. You know, whether it's design runs or putting him on the move in roll-out, sprint-out type passes and giving him run-pass options. And then, you know, then they like to run the ball with zone blocking scheme, stretch on the edge. So, you know, pretty mainstream offense, not something, oh, that's kind of wacky. You never see that. Yes, they're running mainstream offense. Defensively, you know, they'll be in a 3-4 look, which is very popular in football right now. And, you know, pretty active linebackers, and their safeties have been good players. So, you know, I don't think it's a week where we'll be confused. Maybe. I mean, you never know. You get to the stadium, the guys throw wrinkles at you. But, you know, we'll need to handle the road trip. And when we get there, see if we can do what we need to do to go 7-0.
You've heard the term before, trap game. I don't think it's ever been anything that has plagued your program. You do a very good job of having your team focused on the game ahead. As a fan or an outsider, you could look at this game and look at the records and then keep in mind you play Judson the following week. Is there any concern about this being what they call a trap game?
Well, there better not be. You know, our players know we never spend any time looking back or looking ahead. We don't spend any time congratulating ourselves or consoling ourselves if the game doesn't go well. Monday's Monday, Tuesday's Tuesday, Wednesday's Wednesday, Thursday's Thursday, Friday during the day is Friday during the day, then we go kick it off at 7 o'clock. And, you know, we've prided ourselves on being a checking boxes program. You know, we're going to do what we do today, and try to practice and perform to a standard, and then we'll start the game and see what happens.
You mentioned checking the boxes as you look ahead of the game on Friday and the keys to winning it. What boxes are you checking? Well,
I want to get out to a good start. You know, we were able to do that last Friday. The 2 previous weeks, not so much. You can't always do that. I get it. It's a game, and you got two opponents going at each other. But we'd like to start well, and you know, get people swimming upstream. And we were able to, as I said, do that against Clemens. So that aside, if that's not possible or doesn't materialize, then you know, let's take care of the ball. If we can't move it, let's at least take care of the ball and not turn it over, and let's punt and see if we can play good defense, 3 and out them, and maybe make some things happen on punt block and return as we've done before. So, you know, the usual suspects: take care of the ball, prevent explosive plays where they score in one play, and grind out, and then get a few explosives of your own offensively.
All right, Coach, best of luck.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
Again, Smithson Valley taking on the South San Bobcats this Friday on the road at 7 o'clock. The game we'll have for you right here on the Rangers Network. Until next week, for head coach Larry Hill, I'm Brian Freeman. This has been Inside Rangers Football. We'll see you next time.